Yeah, good evening. We can hear you.
Right, let's start with you, Dr. Okwori. I mean, 3 security crises in a week, and so we're looking at some relief. In Niger State, 38, one in Kwara State, one in Kebbi State, and another in Niger State. In Kwara State, 38 abducted worshippers have regained freedom. 50 abducted students in Niger escaped, and Mr. President has promised not to relent. But before last week, he gave marching orders to the new security chiefs to end insecurity. But these bandits, made a statement by carrying out what we saw last week. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, let me start by saying that the president's marching order, should I say, it has started yielding results. But the fact is, the marching order is to end insecurity in Nigeria. But the fact is that we cannot end insecurity in Nigeria because a society without crime is impossible, by Emily Duncan, But what we expect from our government and security agencies is to see that there's decline rather than escalation. We have seen a series of insecurity issues in the last week, and very recently we saw one that happened again with regards to the farmers. If you don't know, some farmers were women, about 12 of them were returning from their farm, and they were also kidnapped in Borno State. That was on Saturday. Now, I want to commend Mr. President. He's the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, for seeing that the 38 worshippers in the community in Kwara have regained their freedom. But when it has to do with kidnap-related insecurity, when you hear victims regain freedom, it comes in 3 different ways. One is either they are rescued, or they are released, or they escape. When it has to do with rescue, of course, it has to do with direct tactical operation, where security agents see how to find their way into the forest or wherever they have kept the victims to see how to get them released or get them rescued, right? Because there you are using force, often using armed intervention or covert operation. And the key features when it has to do with rescue, it has to do with active operations involving force, intelligence, and coordination. And of course, you agree with me that there are some units or departments where they have specialized either police, military, or GSS officers that carry out such execution. And the execution are carried out based on intelligence, precise intelligence, and strategic operations. Now, when it has to do with release, it means that the kidnappers have freed, they freed the victims voluntarily, come and go. And this happens when there's a negotiation, or when ransom is paid, or when certain demands are met, and when there's some kind of pressure from security operations, the kidnappers would decide that the victims should now go freely, And escape is another way to regain freedom. Just the way you said, the Niger school children too that were also adopted or kidnapped, about 51 of them escaped. So these are the ways that you can regain freedom. And when you see the appreciation from the governor of Kwara State, he appreciated Mr. President so much and so well for doing very well. Mr. President was personally involved in seeing that the worshippers regained their freedom. I think it's something that we should commend, right? And I want to also appeal to Mr. President that there are a lot of our citizens that are also out there in the forest. It's just for their communities to also cry out so that Mr. President can hear their cry and see how to also come on board and see that they regain their freedom as well.
All right, Dr. Okwori, let me stay with you before I go to Mr. Abrak. And the question that has been on the minds of many Nigerians is, can Nigeria secure itself? And I'm asking you this question because Mr. President has made a promise, and Nigerians are saying another promise made. The same way former President Goodluck Jonathan promised to end Boko Haram insecurity, the same way late President Muhammadu Buhari promised to end banditry and insecurity. And I mean, it's scary that we're seeing the same pattern of national threat or national security. But we've seen some successes recorded in the last few hours. But are promises enough?
You see, Nigerians are out there. What we want from Mr. President at the moment is action, decisive action, right? Because we have seen these promises from previous presidents, and they were not backed by action. So Mr. President at the moment is one president that will need to see that there is decisive action in whatever he is doing in terms of handling the security challenges in the country. Just the way I said, he's the commander-in-chief. The buck stops at his table. He appoints, he fires. And I want to believe that the way he is going, he has rejigged the military. He has brought in new heads, you know, new energy. The service chiefs that are on board now have come with new strategy, new tactics, new vision, and all that. And I expect that the other senior officers and other ranks will key into their vision. Having rejigged the military, I expect that he would have extended such rejig to the police and the other security agencies out there, because as far as I'm concerned, the other security agencies are not doing enough, you know, to see how to help address the insecurity issues in the country. When it has to do with combating internal crime, it's the responsibility of the police. Everybody in Nigeria knows that it's the responsibility of the police to combat internal crime. When it has to do with internal crime, the police is the lead agency. But the question is, how well are they leading in the fight against insecurity when it has to do with crime within the shores of the country? With the way the military have taken over the responsibility of the police, for me, it has made the police so relaxed. The police have become so lazy in the discharge of their duties. Internal crime, Nigerians and the government keep talking to the service chiefs. They keep referring to the service chief. Meanwhile, the IGP is there. Nobody talks about him, right? The recent adoption of schoolgirls, the 25 schoolgirls in Kebbi, that very day, the chief of army staff stormed Kebbi. The IGP was nowhere to be found. Yes, in as much as the IGP was out of the shores of the country to represent the country in a meeting in the US, I would have expected that the high-powered delegation led by a DIG from the force headquarters would have also gone to Kebbi, you know, to look out for first-hand information with regards to the adoption of the girls. Rather, the police PRO in Kebbi was the one issuing statements with regards to the adoption of the schoolgirls.
Dr. Okwori, for a police system that is under-resourced and